Check this out. Legendary shots were thrown this past week, and it all started over hip-hop's Google Doodle. It's all happening.
Static selector.
Hip-hop celebrated its 44th birthday on August 11th. That's 44 years since Kool Herc threw a back-to-school jam in the Bronx that changed music forever. In celebration, Google dropped a super ill doodle that turned the Google homepage doodle into 2 turntables and a crate of classics. We covered that in Last 7 last week, links in the description. There was also an animated short of Fab Five Freddy kicking a video tutorial detailing how Kool Herc created the break. Roll the clip out.
Using 2 turntables, he extended the instrumental breaks, allowing people to dance longer.
That video really is incredible. Sincerely, that's dope product integration. Google did a great job. Everybody was digging the doodle, including Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash of the Furious 5, Sugar Hill Records own, the cats that made the message. Roll the clip out.
Broken glass everywhere.
Side note, anytime you get a chance to play the message, you play the message. It's a hip-hop covenant. Nevertheless, again, everybody was digging the doodle, including Grandmaster Flash. So much so that he also saw that it was a great time to call out Kool Herc for not clearing up a piece of technical DJ history. Flash dropped a video entitled A Letter to Kool Herc on August 19th. Happy birthday to me. He praised his fellow pioneer, described him as wonderful, gives him credit for being the first to play the breaks and having the biggest sound system in an echo chamber, giving him the voice of God. Then proceeds to question the extent of Herc's pioneering technical accomplishments. Roll the clip out.
But then there's a technical aspect in this role of DJs, is possibly where I have questioned. Godfather, I went online to see if there were any performances of your hands doing what you do. And since I could not find it, this is what I remember.
Sounds grandiose, right? Godfather. Flash put some effort into the production of this video. There's beat changes, the script is tenacious, it's 18 minutes long and doubles as a DJ tutorial. He breaks down the difference between repeating and looping. Flash pins repeating on Herc. He says this right here, what you're seeing, this is Herc's technique. Just moving and placing the needle, not even touching the record, sliding the fader. He calls this the law of disarray. He makes it look craptastic. Look how uninteresting it seems. Later in the joint, Flash goes on to explain how he created looping. He's also the first in hip-hop to start marking up the record with a crayon, putting stickers on it, touching the record like he's doing here. There's no end or beginning to the track. There's no starts or stops. Then things get kind of dark. This is wild. You gotta see this.
It's only me and you left. Our third component, I haven't seen him. I don't know, but it's just us, man. I'm about peace. I just want to make it clear. The art of this technical thing, Herc, it's me.
Got spooky there for a second. This is a compelling conversation on a nuanced level. I mean, sincerely, how many people have thought about a 44-year-old DJ beef, not a DJ beef, but like a DJ conflict, you know what I'm saying, being this entertaining and well produced? The whole thing is kind of interesting. Take a look at the link. It's in the description. AFH got it all. So far, Herc hasn't responded to the call out, but whether side of the debate you might fall, Flash is fighting for his legacy. He's fighting to keep his history from being revised. The irony is that while Flash is fighting to make sure his legacy's intact, he's completely dismissing the legacy of Africa Bambaataa. Did you catch this first part right here? I want to make this absolutely clear, he said. Herc, it's only me and you left. Our third component. I haven't seen it in I don't know how long, but it's just us, man. I'm about peace. It's just us, man. That third component is Africa Bambaataa, Zulu Nation founder and often considered the third member of hip-hop's pioneering DJ Trinity. All of this was captured in Netflix's The Get Down. Bambaataa was celebrated as well until allegations exploded that he's a lifelong child molester. This happened last year. It's an ugly, ugly story. Really think about this again on another level. This is an 18-minute video spilling pioneering hip-hop history, and the third of the Trinity doesn't even get a name drop. Funk Flex gets a name drop. I understand the allegations against Africa Bambaataa are terrible, they're deplorable, but Flash is talking like Bambaataa is dead. There's only two of us, soon there'll only be one. The Zulu Nation already distanced themselves from him. Again, I understand this, but now Flash is kinda revising his legacy, his history as a part of hip hop. Translation, some topics immediately get you voted off the island no matter who you are, or at least they should. We've witnessed revisionism at the speed of a right click over the past couple of weeks. No matter how many cameras in Charlottesville, for example, captured everything they captured, it's still many sides. No matter how many microphones capture whatever said, it's still, I never said that. It's like the spoofs are spoofing us. I get it, the states' rights narrative is much more convenient. It's difficult to sound consistent when you're telling people to never forget the Civil War on one hand, while also telling them to forget slavery on the other because it was so long ago. And when the term Nazi is polarizing to most people, it makes them feel like they're on the wrong side of history because they are. And when it's kind of ironic that people that hate the government the most are the ones leaning on it to defend their treasonous tyranny. It's both logical and illogical at the same time, and yet somehow it all makes sense. But the quote that's lingered with me longest comes from the Democratic governor of Virginia. He said this after he was questioned about the police presence or lack thereof in Charlottesville. I was just talking to the state police upstairs. The militia members had better equipment than our state police had, and yet not a shot was fired. Zero property damage. Sure, half that statement skips over the death of Heather Heyer and the scores of people injured in the violence that took place on the ground. Minor revision. The first part, though, is incredibly wild to think about. Think about this. Better equipment than the police. There's more. Also this week, The Atlantic says Charlottesville marks a new era of even bolder assertion of the right to threaten violence for political purposes. The Huffington Post says 24 anti-Semitic incidents have happened in Charlottesville since the marches. Newsweek reports right-wing extremists plotted or carried out nearly twice as many terrorist attacks as Islamic extremists over the past 9 years. The point is this: many sides are revising narratives, many sides, and as we've seen this week, hip-hop is not immune. Not every artist in the 90s was transcendent, for example. Not everyone dropped classics, though we often make it seem so in the way we talk about the golden era. We point fingers at artists in this era and their ghostwriters as if rappers alike didn't have a ghostwritten verse. And the idea that while we're celebrating hip-hop's 44th birthday, we also get a pioneer barking about who's biting 44 years later, fighting for his legacy. Is this hip-hop's oldest conflict? Is this a design that we can improve upon, or nah? Is this what a slow-moving coup looks like? I don't have the answers to these questions.
Static selector.
Another Saturday, you know what time it is. Thank you everybody for the birthday wishes last week. I had a great time in South Carolina. Saw the eclipse, feel taller already. Also, check out the store. I do have the store link in this week's video. I know I talked about it last week, but we have all the shirts that we've been designing over the weeks that you guys have seen. They're currently available right now. Update on the intern front. I have 135 resumes I am going through now. Expect to hear from me by the top of next week. This is a really interesting conversation. I was blown away by the fact that Grandmaster Flash and Kool Herc and this tension, and it showed up right at the same time as the Google Doodle. You couldn't write this script any more interestingly. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow @TheCompanyMan on everything. It's all happening.
Good old Master Colonel and plantation owners like him provided darkies all over the South with good jobs, food, housing. I'm telling you, slavery was the best thing that ever could happen to Negro kind.
Okay.